Hi everybody, Kirsten here, and today I'm going to be talking about What I Thought Was True by Huntley Fitzpatrick. And I loved this book. I am so glad that I have started to pick up more contemporary fiction because I have shied away from it in the past. And the reason why is because I feel that in contemporary, especially YA, with the authors being my age or older, they write in a very unrealistic teenage voice. And so I like finding a story really had the voice of what a teenager actually is going through day to day, what they talk about, what they deal with their family, their cousins, their brothers and sisters, and their friends, and what it's like to be a teenager and have a job and all of that. So it really kind of encompasses all of that. And the one thing that I'm really glad that this book kind of brings into light is that the character, our main protagonist, she is not a virginal character. And I think that makes her more realistic and more believable as a teenage character. Teenagers have sex, they deal with the rumors that come along with it. Because what is the one thing that you hear about people when you're a teenager? Oh, that girl's a slut. Oh my God, did you hear she did this weekend and she had sex with who? Oh my God, I can't believe she had sex already. Oh my God, what's going on? Like, that's what high school's like. That is what high school is like. I know it's been 11 years since I graduated high school, but in the same sense, I remember all of that. Like, that stuck with me throughout my entire life. As much as we want to believe that sex is normal and sex is healthy and sex is a part of every day, people still treat it as it's a taboo, and especially when you're younger, and it defines who you are when you're in high school. And I want to believe that that's, you know, that might have changed in 10 years, but I really highly doubt it after listening to my little sister and her friend talking in the car one day. You know, people will always judge somebody on whether or not they're a virgin or not. And so this touches on that and what it's like to be a teenager that isn't a virgin, and the reputation that comes along with it, and how they view themselves, and how they actually come to terms with it, and how you can still have a functioning and maintainable relationship while dealing with the fact that people think that you're the tradition of the swim team and all of that. So, you know, and how people take it to extremes, because she has not had a lot of sex in this book. She has not, compared to her friends and her cousin and her best friend that are dating, that they like go at it like rabbits all the time, where she's only had sex like a handful of times. But because it's been with more than one person, you know, she gets lumped into this category and she has a reputation, and it's horrible. And I feel so bad for her, and I just like want to hug her and tell her it's going to be okay, because no one's going to care after you graduate high school. And if they do care, like, they don't really matter, because it shouldn't matter to them realistically, because it's nobody's business but your own. But I am going off on tangents, and I'm sorry. But our story revolves around a young lady named Gwen, and if you've read Huntley Fitzpatrick's other book, My Life Next Door, it's really cute. They take place in the same town, Stony Bay, except this is on the island, and she is part of the working class on the island. Her and her family are the people that take care of these summer homes, clean them. Her dad owns a snack shack. They sling fried food for the people coming to hang out on boats and hang out on the island for the summer. And so it kind of follows that. And if you have ever lived in a beach town or a town near a beach, you kind of know that that is actually kind of what happens. People that live there work these summer jobs. That's when it is the time to work, because when all these people leave in the wintertime, things get really slow. So everyone is working their butts off in this book. She has feelings for this boy, Cass, who is part of the upper classes, but because he got in trouble with a private school, his dad is making him work a blue-collar job, so he's the yard boy for the island. So they run into each other a lot. It kind of follows their relationship and how it progresses throughout the book, how he and she both deal with the reputation that she has after she was intimate with not only him that previous spring, but also his best friend and her ex. And also it kind of goes over what it's like to be in love for the first time, because you see a lot of her cousin Nick and her best friend Viv. They're together and they're in love for the first time, and they're like doing everything that happens when you're like going into your senior year of high school. They just want everything to be okay, and then realizing that things change when you have to think about your future and what happens when you want to go to college, what your person that you're dating is going to stay in the town. And so it just kind of encompasses all of that. So it kind of gives you a look at what it's like to be a teenager and gives you a whole bunch of different windows. And so I really liked that about this book because it was so realistic and it had such a teenage voice, and I loved it. I love that about it. So I'm probably going to be like on the hunt for when she writes more of these books, because she's going to have a sequel to My Life Next Door that's going to be coming out next year. As long as this wasn't too ranty, I hope you guys didn't mind that this was too ranty. This is probably really ranty. I've been ranting about virginal characters on my Tumblr for the past like 24 hours because it made me realize after reading this book how many of the books that I have behind me where the protagonist is a virgin or stays a virgin or is virginal or questions why her friends aren't kind of a thing. And out of the 273 books behind me, only 9 of them have characters that are not virgins. So it's just it kind of makes you realize that there's a huge gap. That and most of the books behind me aren't even YA, and that's kind of what is shocking to me, that a lot of them are romance and adult fiction, and the female protagonists are all virgins, and that kind of makes you wonder the kind of message that they're sending to readers, especially the age bracket that they're targeting. You know, like it's unrealistic, and it makes women who are not virgins, it makes you wonder, why are women writing about someone my age but they're virgins and falling in love and marrying the first guy that they sleep with? It's just very unrealistic. And I know that it's fiction, and I shouldn't take it for anything more than it is, because obviously, you know, some of it's so ridiculous. They need to be a little bit more diverse. We need characters that embrace sexuality. We need more books like that because people need to be able to explore those things. And I didn't realize just how non-diverse all of my books were until I read this one. So it's kind of like an eye-opener a little bit when you think about it. So, but now I'm done being ranty, and I'm sorry. I hope that y'all still like me after this, because I just like totally went on a rant. I don't mean to make it seem like I'm against virgins or I'm like promoting people to be promiscuous by any means. Sex is a very big thing, and you should always think about it before you do it, and you know, do it for the right reasons, not just because everyone else is, blah 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 blah, all those things. But it's also very unrealistic to think that all women are virgins until they meet the love of their life. There I go again. But everyone have a good weekend, or not weekend anymore, it's the beginning of the week. Everyone have a great week, and I will see you next time.